Hi, everyone. It is me, Sailor Moon. And it's me, Luna here. And just, wanted to do this live stream today because I was in the mood to do another live stream. So I start this live stream, and the first thing I'm told is, you can't do this live stream because you don't got the right tools. Now, how can I not have the right tools? I can see I can see if you didn't have more than 50 followers, maybe you couldn't do a live stream on the tool, but I got more than 50 followers. I have a lot of followers on uh on my fairway, both on the website and on the tool, so there is no grounds for it telling me I don't have the right tools. So I'm going through all the settings that there are, and someone tells me, oh, you have to go for the YouTube studio. Well, guess what? I can go for the craft room, and the craft room doesn't give you the shout out box settings at all. The live stream does. Oh, now it showed up. Giant Eagle, yes, F-less bird, I know. We went there on Wednesday was the last time we went there. We maybe might go there again sometime, and I don't know when. Well, I'm happy to get the shout out box working again on the live stream. So here we go. Now, thank you for the thumb up. Thank you for watching. So there would be other times that. So in the past, there would be these other times. So when I first do to make the first live stream, I go through, I set my settings. Well, a lot of them already set. I shoot the likeness. I go to hit film or whatever. It tells me you don't have the right tools, and it says downloading all these tools, and it said, oh, Euro's not allowed. I said, when did Euro never got let? So I undid that. So now I'm doing a live stream. It doesn't have no name to itself, no telling what's going on, no likeness shot. That's, kind of sad. And it isn't like you can go, and it's not like you can go through. And I don't want that. It isn't like you can go through and hit. There's no edit, so you really can't go. So I can't really go through. Maybe if I hit this thing. No, it just tells me where I can share it and things, so it doesn't really do anything. So really, at the end of the day, I really can't do anything about the likeness. Oh, I can shoot a likeness, which I'll most likely have to do at the end of this live stream, shoot a likeness, upload the likeness. That's what I'll have to do. And it said, "Hail, hi, bro." Well, thank you. So, as you know, it's going to be 11 years. Well, not 11 years yet. It won't be 11 years until the 8th between of the 5th month. Then it will make it 11 years that Sailor Moon for Life's been around. With the uploads and the live streams and the shorts. Haven't really made as many shorts as I've made uploads or live streams, though. And I'm up to about 20 followers, 20 watchers, I should say. If they're followers or not, that's a whole other thing. Well, Serena Sailor Moon got in a mood to want to do a live stream. It goes, where's Sailor Mercury? Where's Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver? She's over there with the rest of the Sailor Moon dolls right there. That's where she's at. That's where she's at right now. And to answer an asking thing, where did most of all the dolls come from? A lot of them came from Amazon or Strong Woman over the years. Very few of them came from eBay. Well, most of them came from friends that bought them through eBay. But almost all the other Sailor Moon dolls came from Amazon or Strong Woman. None from SC, none from Overstock, none from Deal Dash or whatever. Or whatever websites happen to be out there where you bid on how much you're willing to yield for something. But you know what? The thing behind buying things on eBay or SC or Overstock or Deal Dash is seeing if you can buy it outright. And sometimes sometimes maybe not a cheaper offshoot of it though. A lot of folks like to say, oh, you can always seek cheap things on there. Well, not all the time. So yeah, that's how I went, And at first I had about 26 folks watching. Now it's just back down to 6 folks. And either that was some bug or glitch, or 26 folks just said, this live stream's not worth it. It's just some Irwin Toy Sailor Moon doll and some could be bootleg Luna doll talking. But what do you mean? I'm a bootleg, Serena Sailor Moon. I'm not. I'm made by some other business that got the right to make squeeze dolls. The Great Eastern Glee isn't the only business that has the right to make Sailor Moon squeeze dolls. And we know that too. So a lot of folks like to, give you shit if you like the Deke Sailor Moon, or should we call it the Wild Brian Sailor Moon, since Wild Brian owns Deke. Deke Glee these days. Or if you like the Pioneer Glee Sailor Moon or Pathseeker Glee Sailor Moon, they do. Some of them will say things like, oh, how can you like the Deke Glee Sailor Moon, which is about 30 years old now? How can you like it, Sailor Moon Serena? They shifted names around. They shifted stead names around. They shifted business names around and street names around. They shifted borrowed names out for other borrowed names. They cut some things out. They skipped over some sagas of your show and things like that. Well, a lot of that stuff is true, but I like it anyway because I still get glee watching it. And yes, that Sailor Moon's about 30 years old. Whatever someone's saying, I don't know. It's about 30 years old. The Deke Sailor Moon, or should we? No. If I stop to think of it, that Sailor Moon started out as Toei Sailor Moon, then became Disney Sailor Moon because Disney owned Deke at the time when Deke had to deal for that Sailor Moon. And then when Disney sold Deke off, it became Deke Sailor Moon. Then it became Cookie Jar Sailor Moon. Then DMX Sailor Moon, now Wild Brian Sailor Moon. Yeah, and that Sailor Moon's about 30 years old. Can you believe that one? Yeah, I can believe that Sailor Moon Luna is about 30 years old. As far as the Pioneer Glee Sailor Moon goes, or Pathseeker Glee Sailor Moon, that Sailor Moon would have been started between 99 was when Pioneer Glee or Pathseeker Glee got the rights to work with it. And I guess it would have not been as old as the other Sailor Moon though. And a lot of folks like to give Pioneer Glee, a lot of onlook for the way they handled Sailor Moon. Yeah, I guess so. I like that Sailor Moon too, but so when I think of Sailor Moon, that's the Sailor Moon I think of. And a lot of folks like to make a big deal about names. They do. You'll have someone that bitch and say, oh no, don't call her Serena. You're slighting my wisdom. Yeah, you're right, Luna. I had someone on Euro many months back, could be a year ago, who said, oh no, when I said my name is Serena, not Usagi, someone gets pissed off and says, don't slight my wisdom. Well, forgive me, but in the Deke Sailor Moon, and he's in a Pioneer Sailor Moon, my name's Serena. Sorry, not slighting your wisdom. Maybe you need to go do a little learning about Deke Sailor Moon and Pioneer Sailor Moon, and maybe you'll know that was my name in that world. And also Renaissance Atlantic Sailor Moon or New Birth Great Sea Sailor Moon, my name was Victoria. So yeah, gonna fight some wisdom some more. In the Deke world, my full name was Serena Victoria Kimball. But in the Pioneer world, my full name was Serena Usagi Sakino. So yeah, that was my middle name, never my first. And also keep in mind that then on X, this was last year too, someone said, stop saying those names, say the right names. Well, sorry, in the Deke world, in the Pioneer world, those are the right names. You know? If you know what I mean. And I know that no need that some folks out there, will either guilt you or shame you for liking the Deke Sailor Moon. They'll say, oh, you only saw that one. Well, I did see the Viz Sailor Moon, the one that a lot of Sailor Moon followers for like, oh, I wish we would have gotten this back in the day. Well, the Viz Sailor Moon is good, but when I think of Sailor Moon, it's the Deke one I think of. And everything I say in this U fairway over soon to be 11 years, even before that, was all offshooted from that one. You know? It says, hello. It goes, my is Buffy. I think you meant to say, hello, my name is Buffy. Well, hello, Buffy. Welcome to the live stream. Another show. Yeah, well, good to be on the show, too. Buffy Summers on the show. It says, Burr, Bloodsucker Slayer, 9 between. I think you meant to say was hello, my name was Buffy. I think that's what you meant to say. Yeah, we got the shout out box on the live stream to work again. But it was after we had to go we had to go and download these tools. It's like, you don't got the right tools. I go on there, it says Euro, not let. And once I shift Euro on the let list, it then started to do it. But that means I couldn't set any settings. I couldn't take a likeness, couldn't write a name down, couldn't write a telling what the live stream was about. And I can only do shoot the likeness after I'm done making the live stream. Because there isn't any way to skim or shift one's live stream while one's live streaming. At least not on the tool. On the website, yes. The tool, no. So that's how it goes. And a lot of folks will say, so they're like, yes, I still am the fighter of love and right. Still fighting for the greater good. Still been the fighter of love and right since 9 between 92 YL. Which, believe it or not, a lot of folks wouldn't believe that, yeah, that was where my show was set in. Even though, it's what it is. Now, we all talk about some other things in the Sailor Moon. It says, where is Sailor Saturn? Sailor Saturn, Sailor Ringroll is over there with the other Sailor Moon dolls. That's where she is at. That is the Bandai one. But it's not offshooted from any show, film, or play to say of. A lot of folks want to ask me about my live song shows or plays, or I guess song shows or whatever. Like the ones that are all over the 4-1 Kingdom and the 4-1 Reichs. Well, I haven't seen any of them. I have seen clips of them, and mostly what folks like to film are usually one or two things. The last song where they all sing the Sailor Moon song, or one other song, but that's mostly it. And they have everything written on a screen so you can read it. So, yeah. But sadly, I don't think I'll ever go to see any of them because they're probably worth way too much to go to any of the film halls where they would be at. You know, they called it Super Sailor Moon Live or Over Sailor Moon Live is what they called them. And I think they're all right. Now, won't you talk about the Tuskler in the room? Which one would that be? About how I broke the oversight, only girls, only women can be sailor fighters or sailor keepers. Hey, it was broken in between 95 while by the Toei business when it did Sailor Stars, when it had the Starlights, you know, Jordan, Dustin, and Jillian come along, so they already broke the oversight. And I didn't really put that much stock in the oversight to begin with. And a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership would say, oh, there are whiffs and there are films where Nako, Takaguchi, or Takenshi talked about this. And even if she did bring it up as to why only women or girls were being chosen to be sailor fighters in that world, well, okay, good for her. That was her crafting. But I don't really think it's an oversight that anyone can really uphold. And Toei already broke it with the Sailor Starfighter, so when Ernest came along as Sailor Earth, it was already a broken oversight. What is your beloved Sailor Fighter? Oh, me, Sailor Moon, Serena. I'm the beloved one. But the truth is, she likes all of them. We like all the Sailor Fighters, the Elders, the Inners, the Starlights. You know, we like all the Sailor Fighters. And a lot of folks yes, I know you folks are gonna be like, why do I talk like Alfred Hayes or Stephen Regal? Well, why? Because Joel Flapper, who did the speaking for me, who played as me and for Deacon later on Pioneer, was formerly from England before she came to the settled land. So that's why I spoke that way. Yeah, that's true. It goes, and at one time, and you won't believe this, but in the past, Dwayne once did the talk like Tracy Moore and Terry Hanks and Linda Bellatime. Yeah, you want to hear my take on Tracy Moore, Terry Hanks, Linda Bellatime? All right, yeah, this is me, Sailor Moon, the fighter of love and right. And I used to talk like that all the time. And it would bring on speech box illness, even when he didn't have a cold. So couldn't do that anymore. And even folks who do show playing for drawing shows and drawing films run into that by themselves as well. It goes, hey, Sailor Man, how are you? Doing well. Thanks for asking, by the way. And as you can tell, and up here are other sailor fighters. I know you're going to look at her. You can't really see her that well. Yeah. I know you're going to say that's a bootleg squeeze doll, whatever, and maybe it is. I don't know. So, all right, got 12 folks watching, 5 thumbs up. And yeah, he goes, yeah, it does mean a lot. Now you might wonder why am I having a doll stand hold me up? Because if I sit down, half my head and body will be cut off. So that's why I got to stand up when I'm on a doll stand. And yes, I did have a bow on it one time, but I cut that off because I didn't like it. You know. So, yeah, it is what it is. And you know something that I wish, Luna, they would do, and I don't think Wild Brian's ever going to do this, is, put my, the Deke Sailor Moon back on disc, at least on the first two followings that I believe Wild Brian still owns to this day. Never mind, it might be in bad shape. The cast of the cells might be bad, you know. It might be hard to see. I don't know really what's wrong with it. Even though it might not be everyone's beloved Sailor Moon, there might be a lot of things that were skimmed over the years that some folks that were awake might be, more pissed off over than they were back then. And when folks say awake, they mean, I guess, being aware of things, being aware of, what's right and what's wrong and what to say and what not to say and what to do and what not to do, I guess, when they mean being awake, I guess, when they mean that. It's the only thing I might guess of what it means. And I know there might be a lot of things that were skimmed it out over it, like street names and stead names and borrow names shifted out for other borrow names and strike names being shifted and whatever. True. But I think if you ever looked at that would be really cool. But I think if Wild Brian would have done it by now, they would have done it by now. But sadly, I don't think the Deke Sailor Moon's ever going to get put on disc. Hell, I don't even think it's going to be put on disc or HD disc or whatever. I know if it was, I'd buy it one day if it was, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Not due to not having anything to do with ownership and double right or ownership, because Wild Brian has the ownership to that Sailor Moon. But the belief is that Deke did not really take good care of the films over the years. After it went from Toei to Disney and then to Deke, and Deke let the films go bad. So by the time it went from Deke to Cookie Jar to DMX to Wild Brian, the films were in so bad shape. I guess they just didn't think it was worth selling. They didn't think it was worth getting a broadcast or a streaming deal with at all. They didn't think it was worth putting on disc, but your guess is good as mine. It said, give us the sigh. I guess that's what you meant. Give us the sigh. I don't know why you want that for, why that's a thing. Well, sorry for that burp. Just a little lifelike going on there. Well, all right. I guess that's going to be, oh, my necky. Well, I guess that might be the end to this live stream. So I want to tell everybody thank you for coming on this live stream. Thank you for those who wrote something on the shout out box. Thank you for those with their thumbs up. And also, if you want to watch the other film that we made today with Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver, Sailor Mars, Sailor Red World, you can watch that film if you want to. It's up to you. When I'm done with this live stream, I'll have to shoot a likeness because I didn't make no likeness for this. I'll have to give it a name and write down what's going on in it. So that's how that's going to be. Anyway, that's it for me. I, Sailor Moon Serena, and I, Luna, and we'll see you later. Okay, how do you hit that thing? You want to stop live streaming? Yes, I do.